Yes, everyone, hello and welcome back to Forever United TV. I'm Adam and this is our last instalment of the day for the transfer deadline day here on Forever United TV. It has been a pretty epic day, a very busy day, which started off like an absolute steam train. It went out of the blocks and gone, and then just slowed off as it ran out of gas. That was it. And unfortunately for Manchester United fans, the hopes of signing a new midfielder in the next hour and a half are dwindling away. We were getting signs that this would not happen as the day went on. We got past midday. We're thinking there's not much time left. There was the hope from what Romano said, and Manchester United could actually look for an opportunity, keep the door open. Remember them words from Romano? Could it actually be? No, it didn't. It wasn't. And of course, don't get me wrong, I'll be straight back here on Forever United TV if anything changes. We're going from here to FUTV to finish off the transfer window as it closes and slams shut at 7 o'clock tonight. But it looks like all of the activity is in Manchester United's rivals with the transfers. We're going to stick to United and what's actually happened and where we're at right now, what's been said, the word, the vibe, and obviously your comments as well inside the live chats on what you think of this transfer window and what you think of today, really, in terms of what's actually happened. That I think is definitely something that we need to get in here as well. Get some opinions in. Let's see what everybody's thinking. Let's see what your thoughts are regarding Manchester United's deadline day, the activity, the lack of in some people's minds, and everything else and what's been said as well. So really what we're looking at, we was looking for the midfielder. That did not happen. The updates that we've got, the major updates from this afternoon, are that Manchester United were not interested in Conor Gallagher. It was way off the mark. Atletico Madrid were only going to sell for a permanent deal. The player hasn't pushed for a move away, and United were not looking at him. Angelo Stiller was also put to bed earlier on as well. That was actually yesterday when that happened, so that was off the cards also. And Manchester United will end up keeping Kobbie Mainoo. That was the biggest news. Sky Sports brought it to us earlier on. Dan Carr was at Carrington. Obviously, as the arrival of Senny Lamens came into Carrington to complete his medical, Manchester United announced that the request of Kobbie Mainoo to move away on loan was outright refused, and he stays at Manchester United. Have we got enough going forward for the games that we have got to play? That's the big question. Manchester United end up bringing in 5 players this summer in total, including Matheus Cunha, Brian Mbeumo, Benjamin Sesko, Diego Leon, and Sen Lamens of Royal Antwerp on deadline day. 18.2 million the deal was to bring in a new goalkeeper to Manchester United. There was all of that for and all of the talk from last night going into this morning on Emi Martinez and the potential of Manchester United signing an experienced, high quality goalkeeper like Emi Martinez. That was soon put to bed when Laurie Whitwell broke the news of a flight leaving Belgium for Manchester, a private jet that had a Mr Lamens on board. He was heading to Manchester. While in the air, David Ornstein dropped the bomb that Manchester United have agreed a deal to sign Sen Lamens from Royal Antwerp. He was their top target. Emi Martinez was a cover in case this fell through on deadline day. United had their price and United got their price. Sen Lamens in the end was the key factor in all of this, in requesting Manchester United and only wanting Manchester United. And that's what got this deal done. That's what got it over the line. And Manchester United have a new number 1 goalkeeper. This was what was needed. It's annoying and confusing as to a lot of Manchester United fans why this football club did not act on the goalkeeping side of things earlier on in the window, because we all knew from day one that we needed a new goalkeeper. United, for some reason, convinced themselves that they didn't need a new goalkeeper, and only if Andre ONANA was sold would Manchester United bring a new goalkeeper in. Now, we have spent big money on a goalkeeper, and now Andre ONANA, it looks and it seems, is being forced out of Manchester United now and has been told internally to leave, find another football club. He is no longer number 1 choice at Manchester United. He needs, if he wants to play football, be out of the door and somewhere else. It does look like it is going to be a loan for Andre ONANA out of Manchester United. Nobody has come forward with any money at all. United are really not that bothered as it is at the moment, because that's not going to be reinvested into anybody. We know where we're at with what's coming in. It's just the outgoing side of things that may just actually carry on a little bit into into the beginning weeks of September, while the Turkish and Saudi Pro League transfer windows come to a close. There may be a few clubs over there that are desperately in need of reinforcements. Manchester United actively looking to move 3 players out now in the next 2 weeks. That being ONANA, that being Altay Bayındır, and that also being Tyrell Malacia, whose deal to Elche fell through because there could not be an agreement on a permanent option on top of the loan that was being discussed. How the hell have Manchester United got a player that nobody on this bleeding earth wants to sign? That is ludicrous. How are we paying a kid 75 grand a week and nobody wants him? I find that amazing. But look, Manchester United are negotiating hardball, and they do want to make sure that they are covering themselves in these deals. It's been good. It's been annoying. It's been a letdown in some ways because we haven't got the midfielder, but a lot of what Manchester United wanted and needed, we have got done this transfer window, and I still stand by. I feel like this window has been a great success for Manchester United. I really do. I think we have done well. We could have done a little bit more. Yes, we could have, but the stance on Manchester United is right now, and just to go down on the goalkeeping side of things again, I said this before. I was a little bit disappointed. I wanted Emi Martinez when I knew we could get him, and I thought it was going to happen. I was all in on that. All in on that deal. I thought that was the right one for Manchester United, personally for me. That's only my opinion, of course, but I just thought that would have just put Manchester United in a 20 times better place. And I just thought, you know what? Let's just make that happen. It works well for everybody. It works well for Manchester United. It works well for Emi Martinez, for Aston Villa. I thought it was the perfect deal. But no, that wasn't the case. And, of course, we have now got a situation where we have still got ONANA in place, and Sen Lammens has come in as well. Now, my issue with this before on the show when we broke this news was that Manchester United right now, I thought, we're going to be bringing Sen Lammens in, and because he isn't an experienced goalkeeper, this could now be a deal where Manchester United end up still playing ONANA. And everyone was shutting me down. We did a poll in the chat earlier on, and we asked the question, do you think Sen Lammens is going to come in and be Manchester United's number 1 goalkeeper? And the pretty much majority of you, over 80+% said that yes, Sen Lammens is going to be Manchester United's new number 1. So you convinced me all. I just had the fear that this football club would do the most stupid thing ever in not get Emi Martinez and bring in another goalkeeper that might play second fiddle to ONANA. Now, I think the word from Manchester United has kind of reassured me a bit today, and the words coming out of Manchester United and reports coming out are that ONANA is going to have to find another football club if he wants regular football. He was behind Bayındır already this season. He wasn't going to replace Bayındır because of the performances. It would have been Bayındır in net again for Manchester City if we didn't buy another goalkeeper. And, of course, now we're looking at a situation where Sen Lammens has been bought in by Ineos, their first goalkeeper. And I just had to calm myself down a little bit and think about everything that's in play here. Sen Lammens, 18.2 million on deadline day. It is quite significant for a goalkeeper. And I think because it's Ineos' first investment with 3 goalkeepers already being at the club, I feel like this is now going to be the number 1 at Manchester United. It has to be number 1 at Manchester United, surely. I feel like they'd be idiots not to play Sen Lammens now. If Ruben does a Ruben and says he's going to ease him in and doesn't play him now, we'd be like, no. Seriously, no, you've got nothing to lose. You've got 2 of the worst goalkeepers. I mean, Bayındır at the moment has performed better than ONANA this season so far, but we have got 2 of the worst goalkeepers in the Premier League. We have. We know this. So there's no point in even risking playing them goalkeepers again, because you know, like, you can't even bring into the equation that them goalkeepers are going to be used to the likes of ONANA and Altay Bayındır, and that's why you're playing them ahead of a new player coming in. You've got nothing to lose. You have to go in and play Sen Lammens. And ONANA has been told this. And thankfully, we are not going to see this guy again, ever. We are not. And that, I think, is definitely where Manchester United need to be. So, when we're at, and I want people to rate this window and get in the chat. So, first of all, I know people are doing this already, but for the people that are rating this window, 3s, 4s and 5s out of 10s, We were one midfielder away from a 10 out of 10 window. So how can you rate it 3 or 4? Because all of the bomb squad are gone. Malacia will go. But all of the bomb squad are gone. We've got deals done. We've done good business. Everyone was happy with the business this morning. So every one of them is out the club. Gone. With good deals made. Manchester United stand to make 90 million this window with another 60 million plus to be made at the start of next summer's transfer window as well. Everyone's gone. We've brought in players that we all liked, we all thought, and we're all happy about and coming in. So how can you say that this is a 3, 4 or 5 out of 10 when we was only missing one player in bringing one player in? It's not, is it? It's not a 3, 4 or 5 out of 10 window, is it? It's definitely, for me, I think this is an 8 out of 10 window for Manchester United. The statement was made with academy players like Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho. They were binned off. Sancho has gone as well. Anthony finally sold, like we thought that would never happen. We've brought in players that are Prem-proven and are good and are a lot better than what we've got, actually. So I'm with it. I think this is an 8 out of 10 window, me, and I'm never going to be turned away from that, because getting rid of the players was just as big as bringing players in for me this window. And we might have just bought, no, it's a might, I know, but we have brought in a keeper, and that's progression. That's not ignoring the obvious that's going on at Manchester United. We were going to buy Baleba, but Brighton did not want to sell. So we were going to buy him. You can say, go in and give everything that you want. Go and test Brighton. But if they just say no, then Manchester United are not going to be able to bring in that player. Manchester United then looked at this and went, well, if there's not a player that's going to come in and challenge right away now, we're not going to buy him. So why would that be a problem for everybody? Because all you're doing at this point is bringing in another Casemiro, Agate or Kobe Mainu that we've already got. So why would you go and do that? When you know that you can get Carlos Baleba next summer, why would you buy a player now that you know is not going to get right into this first team and he's just going to be another squad player that isn't going to play week in, week out? You can only buy players that are going to really significantly challenge for that first 11. And that's what convinced me on Lamens, and Lamens being a Manchester United number 1 going forward. That's what I've been convinced about with every other player we've bought. Sesko will be a striker that starts week in, week out for Manchester United eventually. It will come to it. We've already got 2 others in Bumo and Cunha. You can't drop either of them. These are the players that we know. So effectively, we have brought in 4 players, so over a third of our starting 11 that are going to come in and play week in, week out, first names on the team sheet. Can we agree with that? I think we can agree with that, can't we? And we're not going to bring in another midfielder because he's not better than Mainu. He's not better than Manuel Agate. And he's definitely not better than Casemiro or Bruno Fernandes. So what's the point in bringing in that player if he's not going to play? There's no point in spending any more money. This is what United did before. Stupid signings all of the time. We need to sign someone. Let's just go out and get someone. Maybe we got someone on loan, but again, what's the point in bringing somebody in on loan that a young academy player might come in and do a job for if you're not convinced of that loan player? Like, don't waste the money and the time and the squad space. I think what we've got right now and the decisions that we have made are right. Angelo Stiller, would he have made it at United? I don't know. Looking at Agome, would he have been good enough at Manchester United? We don't know. Is he better than anyone else at the football club right now? We don't know. Is Carlos Baleba better than anyone else at Manchester United in that midfield? 100% yes, he is, because he's proven in the Premier League and he is a player that is desperately needed in this first 11 right now and will go right in there, guaranteed. You know he will. You 100% know he will. We couldn't get him because Brighton just said no. United were ready to pay, but they said he's not for sale. We're not selling him. So United walked away, as a sensible football club should do. Liverpool did it with Van Dijk. Chelsea did it with Fernando Torres. And then, you know what happened? It still ended up happening further down the line. But what you didn't do was disrupt anything by bringing somebody else in as a make-weight. You stand your ground. Forever and a day, Manchester United fans have been moaning about how this football club has been run, how we conduct business, how we panic buy and bring in absolute shite. Well, today we've confirmed through this whole window that we're just not going to do that anymore. So I actually look at it as a massive positive. Everyone's talking about it on X and all social media. Like, why didn't we bring a midfielder? We had to bring a midfielder in. We're doing Ruben Amorim dirty here by not bringing a midfielder in. I'm sorry. Like, what is the point of bringing someone in that the manager's not convinced about, or the club itself are not convinced about. If anything, we look at this summer transfer window and we say, well, at least Ruben, Jason Wilcox, Christopher Vivell and Omar Barada are all on the same page. They're all making decisions, and they're making decisions as a football structure on what happens going forward at Manchester United. That's what I take from this window, and that's the big positive. The players that we brought in, obviously, but the fact that we're actually operating as a football club now, a proper football club again in the transfer window. And yes, I wanted more. I wanted more players in, but sometimes you can't get everything in one go. And sometimes you just have to wait a little bit longer. And we are going to have to wait a bit longer. But if anything now, you're going to see how good Ruben Amorim is as a coach. So if anything, you're going to find out if you are right about Ruben Amorim and him not being good enough. Because another manager will be in at the end of the season anyway. But do you know what else is important in that? If it doesn't work out for Ruben and he can't twist his system around and make it work with what we've got, then these players that are being brought in will still suit the next manager, because Manchester United have operated within a proper football structure and got deals done that we know are going to fit Manchester United and a philosophy for years to come as well. Not just one man's vision and one manager's players. That's one thing that we know we've made a mistake with umpteen times before. I think I've said enough. I'm going to get into the live chats. A little mini rant. Was that a rant? That wasn't a rant, was it? It was mellow. I think it was structured. Pardon the pun. It was structured, wasn't it? All right, let's get some chats in here. Adele, just happy we got to the bomb squad temporarily away. Hello, Sancho coming back, in brackets. Not very excited with the MF and the young goalkeeper. Let's see. I trust Amorim. That's good. He trusts him. I like that. Confidence. Farnster 11. Baleba hooked again. Why didn't we go all in again? I don't know. Probably because Brighton would have probably said, no, it's not happening again. I can only guess, mates, on that one. At best, a 6 out of 10 window with the midfield, an 8 out of 10 window with 5 players brought in and all of the bomb squad gone. How is that only an 8? Why are people so scared to actually say that we've actually had a good window? Sashin, look, I understand everyone's got an opinion, and some people are not fully bowled over. They wanted more. They wanted a Chelsea or a Liverpool window. Let's not forget what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with mistake after mistake after mistake. And this window has been, I think, good for Manchester United because of that structure. And now we've dealt with certain situations, taking losses on certain players just to get them out of the door so we can build an environment and build foundations going forward. I don't think that any player left in this Man United side right now after next summer is going to be these players that we're struggling to get money for. I think we're going to start earning money from players going forward when we make transfers. And teams will actually want Manchester United players. Adele again with another super chat. Malacia, Anthony, Onana, Rasmus, Xerxes, Eric Ten Hag's work. Remember this when you sympathise with this fraud for his sacking today. No one's sympathising with Eric Ten Hag and his sacking today from Bayer Leverkusen. Embarrassing manager. And I said this, and I always had it in for him a little bit, probably a bit too much over the top, but I seen what this man was doing, and I was never convinced. I made my mind up after 2 years. I hope I get to give Ruben that time and really judge him again after 2 years and he's not sacked. I really want that. 6 out of 10 because we didn't get a midfielder and a fullback. We didn't need a fullback. It wasn't a priority right now for Manchester United. We have plenty of defensive and attacking fullbacks in this side, Sashin, and I think the money needed to be spent elsewhere, mate, to be honest. And I think that the only one I'll agree with is the midfielder, but if we're only going to buy players that are going to be better than what we've got and are going to really improve us, then there's no point in buying anybody else, like I said. 7 out of 10, keeper not certain and midfielder missing. Should buy or have loaned a midfielder, even the one that went now to Aston Villa. If Martinez equals 8 out of 10, we can't buy a player off Liverpool though. Or is it another player you're looking at that I've not seen yet? I will keep an eye on that one. But Harvey Elliott to Aston Villa. Liverpool will never sell Manchester United a player, if that's the one you mean. Sorry if it's someone else, Andreas. I've not looked properly yet anyway. This manager is in trouble with this midfield. Angelo Stillo would have been a good pickup. Would he? Do we know? Manchester United never in. It's just opinion again. And Manchester United are not willing to take a risk. They want the best, which I haven't got a problem with. GD, welcome and thank you for that super chat, my man. Really appreciate it, buddy. And everyone else who has dropped their super chats in. Adele, Farnster, Sashin, and Andreas, of course, as well. Andreas has come in with one more. For me, 7 out of 10. It was a great window. Previous 2 to 3 out of 10 in terms of what we've done before with transfer windows. That's absolutely good. I think good-spirited comments in here as well tonight. Look, I'm not trying to convince you. You can disagree with me all you want. Go in at me. Say I'm talking out my ass. Whatever you want to say. Look, I'm good with it. Don't worry. You're never going to be turned away because you don't agree with me. That won't happen on this channel. I just like to put across a positive because I feel there are positives there. Look, I know there's negatives. I wanted Martinez. Honestly, when I knew that we could have got him, I was in. All in on that deal. I thought, yes, this is exactly what we need. We've got Radat Vitek coming through the ranks, and in comes Martinez for a few years. Vitek takes over. We've actually got a plan. Well, I don't actually know what the plan is with Vitek now. But, hey, look, we'll see. He might be just thought of as being used and sold on again. You never know. Like City did it. They sold James Trafford without even playing a Premier League game for 25 million. Maybe Man United can do that and take 100% profit out of a transfer for a change. Let's just see. I don't know. I like Vitek. I think he will be a good keeper going forward, but let's just see what happens with that one, eh? DOP, thank you for them gifted memberships earlier on, mates, in the earlier shows today. Considering we finished 15th last season and we're out of Europe, I think we've had a decent window. It's a shame about no midfielder, maybe in January. And don't forget January. It's a very good point that DOP says there, because January transfer window is there and something might happen for Man United. Might happen. Ben Jacobs apparently says that Ruben Amorim wanted a Stupinian. Well, we talked about that earlier on in the window. We did a full show on a Stupinian as well. So, again, look, it's all if, buts, maybes, and what ifs at the moment. It is done. We have got, look, just over an hour left in this transfer window. All we're expecting now is the announcements, official announcements of Anthony at Betis. We've had the Rasmus Højlund one. I think that is in the bag now. I'm just going to double check on everything that's floating around right now just to confirm. What we're seeing here right now. Sen Lammens has completed his medical at Manchester United, by the way, and all contracts are now signed, so that is done. I'll start now. Teren Mengi secures a deadline day move to Burnley. Manchester United stand to benefit from 40% sell-on clause they negotiated when he joined Luton Town 2 years ago. And so United about to make more money on another sell-on clause. Good business from Manchester United. I'm not even listening or reading out what Alejandro Garnacho has had to say. Really don't give a toss. Someone has just lined up on this on social media, and this is just to put everything in perspective. At the start of last season, Manchester United were lining up with Andre Onana, Alejandro Garnacho, Rasmus Højlund and Antony in our team. Under Erik ten Hag, we've now got Ruben Amorim at the start of this season with Sen Lammens, Matheus Cunha, Benjamin Sesko and Brian Mbeumo starting up front for Manchester United and in goal. You know what I mean? There's different ways you can look at it. We had a case closed from Fabrizio Romano regarding Kobbie Mainoo. So too from Chris Wheeler. They were the reports going out earlier on. The Tiro Malacia one was interesting. Touching on that quickly. Malacia from Manchester United to Elche on loan has collapsed after all parties were unable to agree on the inclusion of a clause to make the deal permanent. That was reported by The Athletic, Mike Critchley, earlier on. The Conor Gallagher one went well away before. Romano was talking about the deal for Emilio Martinez. Could not happen because Jadon Sancho did not want a permanent move to Aston Villa. That one riled a few people earlier on as well. It really did. But, yeah, it's ultimately, when you look at it, it's been another sham of a transfer window and another deadline day desperate move on loan for Jadon Sancho. The guy knows no limits of embarrassment. He really does not care what people think of him. And some people would say that's a quality in a player. Does not really bother him. He's not bothered about how people look at him. As a professional, I'd be looking at this and I'd be very, very concerned about how people are looking at me for the future of my career. I'm 25 years old and all I'm doing is being moved on from club to club. I've got 5 clubs in 5 bleeding years. I'd be worried about the future of my footballing career when that is happening. And that's one thing I will never, ever understand about Jadon Sancho and his approach to this. Yes, you're owed money on a contract. You've written it, and that contract is binding. I know it is. But what about your future, you money-grabbing leech? Seriously, I thought you was a footballer. God damn it. Honestly, every time I talk about this guy, I end up losing the plots. He just riles me like nobody else does. And he was the one. He was the little snake that I wanted out the most this summer. Let's get some more comments on this, and we'll keep running through everything that is going on right now. Obviously, we are into the last hour now. Well, a couple of minutes off from the last hour, everybody. It does not look like Manchester United are bringing anybody else in. Keep your comments flying in, everyone. Adam, being a Red since 91, age 10. Seen it all. Media once loved us, and now they hate us. It doesn't matter, though, because we're always love United. Ruben Amorim in, says Colin. I mean, that's good, mate. I mean, I love that sort of positive vibe coming into this now. And look, the end of the day, everyone, that league table is there. Take this from this transfer window. Manchester United got better in the first weeks of the season through their transfers. Proven. Manchester City got weaker. There's a little positive there, isn't there? I know it's not won in the first few weeks of the season, but just take that into the derby. He better play Lemons in that derby. Oh, I'm giving up on Ruben if he doesn't. 6.5 for me. Good work with difficult outgoings in the bomb squad, but a bit late. ONANA should have never been allowed back, which is a big minus. Yeah, we would actually be in the Carabao Cup right now if Andre ONANA was sold. We would. Peter Hood with a super chat again. Thank you. And again, thank you everyone for all of your super chats throughout the day and in the show tonight. Any criteria Ineos transfers have been excellent, as have their cleaning out of previous poor signings. This window is a 9 out of 10. Peter, I'm with you, mate. I'm with you. Graham, an unpopular opinion? Never. Has surprised me. Unpopular opinion, but I am glad the club didn't panic buy and sign any midfielder option. Mate, that's not even an unpopular opinion. Come on, Graham, I expected you to disagree with me or something. That you're actually agreeing. I totally get what Graham's saying there, and I'm in full agreement. If it's a player that isn't going to be ahead of Bruno, Mainu, Casemiro or Agate, what's the effing point? If it's Baleba, he walks into that side, but we couldn't get him. We can't get Wharton, and Man United are only buying players that are going to significantly improve this side. Now look, if United didn't spend a lot of money next summer after all the money that we saved this summer and what we've done in the transfer window, I'll be disappointed. But as of now, I've seen nothing to make me think that Ineos are not going to reinvest any penny that's been made this summer back in either January or the following summer's transfer window. I'm not. I think they have got everything set up to go full steam ahead for Manchester United to go into transfer windows into the future and go and buy exactly the same types of players that they have this window. That's how I see it happening anyway. Thank you for that, Graham, mate. Brits Abroad, another super chat. Cheers, buddy. He says, this fan base is a joke. Oh, I'm all right, mate, Anna. I must be. Give me a super chat. Anyway, mourning that we haven't had a good window because we didn't get a central midfielder. Look at Liverpool Football Club when they waited for Van Dijk, Baleba and Wharton and a right wing-back next summer, and we are cooking. I said that at the top of the show, and I said, look, all good things come to those who wait, and Manchester United should take a leaf out of properly run football clubs. Chelsea waited for Torres. He ended up going. Yeah, it wasn't a success, but they still got him later on. They didn't jump out and buy somebody else just because they didn't get the first choice. United have done that every single transfer window under that crap regime before Ineos. They have, and you know they have. So, looking at this now, you look at like what Brits Abroad just said then, like I said earlier on, Virgil van Dijk, they didn't get him. They waited, and then they got him. So there is a lot for waiting and making sure that you get your number one targets. And look at the success that them clubs have actually had as well. Now, that, I think, is the point here that everybody is trying to make when it comes into pushing the positive on waiting and not just buying a midfielder or anybody. I think that's important to remember, that obviously it isn't always... in fact, Manchester United's transfer windows recently, it's like we didn't get our targets. Look, we should have gone and got Declan Rice. We got Mason Mount. We should have gone and got Harry Kane. We got the bleeding complete opposite in Rasmus Højlund. We should have kept David De Gea. We didn't. We let him go for now, and we brought ONANA. Why not wait? Make sure you get the right player. I swear to God, like honestly, Manchester United in the past just bought players in for the sake of filling a shirt and putting a body in that changing room. It's embarrassing. Thank you again. Throughout the day, we have been running the stats. We've been running all of the figures and everything over on our overlay system here on Stream Builder. They are our supporters now on the channel as well. We invested into making your experience and the content a little better as well for you. We're running through the watch-alongs and all of the major news with our new overlay system throughout the season. So again, thank you for all the comments throughout today on that. It has been great. As you can see, all the deals going through our very own sort of deadline day setup and system in play here for everyone on Forever United TV. So yeah, really happy with it. We've had a few teething issues with the football talk side of things. We were back on football talks right after this video to finish up on deadline day, everybody, as well. So make sure that you do stay across and join us for that as the window closes. I think there's going to be more news away from Manchester United, which is why we're doing football talk second in the show tonight. But yeah, still, it's going to be fun. So make sure you do come over and have your say as well there. Okay, let's get some more comments in on everything. Let's give you your chance to have your say, everybody. And so where the super chat says, get in, Adam, but we do need more than one mid. Do we with hardly any games? We've got one game a week all the way to December. And then the transfer window opens in January. You get what I'm saying? Adam, don't get me started on a Kane situation. Sorry, Leo. I couldn't help it. It's there, isn't it? Malacia going to stay? Question mark. No. We're still, don't forget, the Turkish and Saudi Pro League transfer windows are still open, and we could still see something happen in them windows for all of our players as well. Modern football, don't wait for nobody. Adam, next season the top 5 will be more richer to spend. We'll always have to play catch up. Yeah, but modern football doesn't help if you buy players that are not better than what you've got, mate. And that is more important, I think, than trying to burst the bank for somebody you know you can't get in Baleba. I disagree with that one. Thanks for the super chat, mate. But, yep, I completely disagree with it, I'm afraid, pal. I don't want to hear about January transfers. We've just had 3 months of this shite. It's not shite, though, is it? We've done all right, haven't we? We've done all right. You can see all the signings up on your screen right there, right now. Like Cunha, Mbumo, Sesko, Diego Leon, Sen Lamens. One more midfielder in there. And I tell you what, this whole conversation and chat, if we'd have got Baleba in there and we'd have spent that much money, we'd have been absolutely cloud9 in it right now, wouldn't we, as a fan base? Niall, let's mix this up a little bit. Adam, I respect you, Adam, but you are talking like we are a really good team who will be doing bits next season. I can't see us finishing higher than 8th. They will turn down better teams and Champions League for us. Nope. Mbumo, Cunha, Sesko, United over Champions League, Lamens over Champions League and European football. My God, mate, we just finished 15th and bought 4 Champions League worthy players in that other Champions League clubs we're going for. And yet they all came out and said, I want Man United. Sorry, mate. And thanks for the comment as well, buddy. Adam, be honest, does Baleba sign next summer? Yep, I think he does. I think he's got his heart set on it. And I expect Manchester United to still compete this season. I do. I've seen better football this season. And when we get a new goalkeeper in, you will see a difference. This is why it's so important and why I was so excited about Martinez. I just hope that Lamens does prove us to be... to be that next Thibaut Courtois, like he's being tagged. Look, he looks a good keeper on the highlight reels. I'm not going to blow smoke up the kid's ass because I've never really seen him play. I'm being completely honest here. I'm going off what the scouting reports are saying. I'm going off what everybody else is saying. And this, I think, is, I feel, look, a decent goalkeeper. I just hope he does prove to be that way. I will get behind him. I will support the transfer. I think it's a good fee. It's not out of the way. It's not cost us a lot of money. And if he turns out to be a good keeper, I know it's an if, and I'm not kidding myself. I get it. And it could go the other way. But if he turns out to be a good goalkeeper, we'll all be sat here next summer going, what a steal that was. Myself included, thinking, I'm glad we didn't go for Martinez. I just don't know. And nobody knows. But I will support him when he comes in. And I hope that the recruitment team have really done their work on this. Look, if they've been looking at him for so many years, then they must see something. And he is wanted by several football clubs. So he must be, or he must have something in there anyway. Andreas with another super chat. Called down. Was upset about, I think that calm down you're supposed to say there, was upset about the goalkeeper and not getting midfielder from Sporting Lisbon at least. Hope for top 10, changing my score to 8.5 out of 10 with midfielder 10 out of 10. Andreas, thank you, my man. I love that. Positivity, that's what we like. And it's not pointless positivity for the sake of positivity. Look, we call it as it is on this channel, to be honest. And it's been a nightmare start for United on results side of things. ONANA cost us the Grimsby game, and that game has pretty much got rid of the goalkeeper. I still would have liked to have been in the Carabao Cup. Maybe we could have won the penalty shootout. Meh. Look at that there. David Wardle, the man with no picture. Oh, Ineos Fanboy channel. Do one, mate. Go and watch someone else then, you muppet. Let's see what else we've got. Adam, it's not time to give Kone a chance to show his skill. Other sides are giving 16-year-olds a chance, not us. To be honest, mate, other teams giving 16-year-olds a chance, like Arsenal. I'm taking it you mean there. Liverpool, fighting for the title. A well-organised team that have had managers there and an established way of playing for years now, where Manchester United have been effing around, bringing youth academy players through when they shouldn't, bigging them up like they shouldn't, hence the problem we've had with quite a few of them academy players. I don't think it is the right time to bring young players into Manchester United. You need to establish a way of playing and a confidence in that side and that first 11 for them players to walk into. An environment for young academy players to walk in and actually thrive at this football club. That has been something that's been lacking severely for years now at Manchester United. And we've thrust academy players in wrongly in and asked them to be our saviours consistently. It's not fair. It never was. And I don't think Manchester United have approached the younger side of our squad and our academy very well at all. I really don't think that Manchester United have got it right. They feel like because it's Man United and we've got such a great record of bringing young players through, that this was the right thing to do. Mainu and Garnacho were thrust in to save Manchester United, and the pressure on them two lads has cost them right now. And look where they are. Cobby, hopefully, is salvageable. I think he is, and I have hopes for Cobby still. And I said this before, maybe out of all this adversity and carnage and upsets and fallout at Manchester United, we will get something from the back end of it. And Cobby will prevail this season and turn into the player that we all hope he will do. He's now surrounded by the right types of players in this squad. There's no more bad eggs at Manchester United. They've all left. And that parting picture from Jadon Sancho, that's the last that we're going to see. Because I do believe that Manchester United will get a deal for Jadon Sancho next summer. He will be gone out of this football club forever. Also, I did mention before on the Jadon Sancho situation, we're waiting to find out what that loan fee is that Aston Villa are going to pay United. That's what we're waiting for next. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how much that is, because Manchester United, obviously, in this loan, have an agreement with Aston Villa. Aston Villa will be paying Manchester United 80% of Jadon Sancho's wage. So I worked this out to be approximately 5.6 million. I worked that out off his base rate contract minus the 25% from his Champions League absence, which every player is on, and then calculated 80% of that, which is what he will be being paid, because that's what Manchester United are paying Jadon Sancho with this loan. So 80% of that is 5.6 million. So if United receive a loan fee of anything over £3 million, then wage-wise, we're not paying Sancho anything at all this season. Maybe he does well at Aston Villa. They will extend his contract for another year so they can maybe get a fee next term. But Manchester United have received £5 million in penalty for Sancho. They won't have to pay any of his money or equivalent money because of the fees that we're getting off Aston Villa. And like Jamie Jackson also said, if Jadon Sancho performs to a certain level or features in a certain amount of games, there is an obligation for Aston Villa to cover the entirety of Jadon Sancho's wages. So United just keep on making bits and bits of money out of Jadon Sancho while not forking any more out for his wages. I did obviously counter that earlier on by saying, well, we're still paying that 17 million a year for Jadon Sancho's transfer fee, and there is one more payment to make on that, and then that is it for Jadon Sancho. So realistically, Manchester United right now, I feel, are in a comfortable position with even Jadon Sancho. So yeah, business done. Not ideal, but a problem, and somebody who was only thinking about money, but United are still making a little bit off him this season. It's just a pain in the ass that we paid so much for this guy and we're still paying for it. And that was down to, yes, you guessed it, Mr. Woodward. And there's nothing we can do about what is already set in stone and what has happened on the pitch with the managers that have been at this football club. And that's the reality of Man United's transfer window right there. Making decent out of really shit situations. And that will be how it's always for Manchester United for a couple of years while Ineos starts. But then again, when we finally get rid of everyone, and next summer is the last one. Next summer, Manchester United, I am convinced right now, will be saying goodbye for good. And this is if Tyrell Malacia does get a loan again this summer. So you're going to be saying goodbye next summer. And this is my list of players. And I know it's next summer and everyone's going to say, well, what about now? We're playing now. We've got to win now. Well, yeah, look. I don't think any of these players are going to really cause too much of a problem now for Manchester United this season anyway. They're either not here or they're just going to feature in certain parts for United because of their age. But next summer, who are we going to moan about? Because next summer we're going to be rid of, I feel, definitely Andre Onana, Altay Bayinde. I think Luke Shaw will be gone next summer. I think Harry Maguire will be gone next summer. Casemiro will be gone next summer. I think Bruno Fernandes will be gone next summer. I think they will sell Manuel Ugarte next summer as well, with him being 2 years in. I think he will definitely get the cut from Omar Barada on that one. I also feel like, who else was my other players that I'm thinking are going to leave? I don't know about Mason Mount. I don't know. We'll see on that one. But you can see just there, like, of them players that are leaving Manchester United. Sancho will 100% be gone. Rashford will be 100% gone as well. Rasmus Højlund's fee kicks in as well. Like, all of these players will be out of Manchester United, and we'd have fetched a decent pack. I think Rich Fay was talking about it earlier on and saying that Manchester United stand to make approximately 90 million in sales this summer, and then a further 60 plus million because of sell-ons and the obligations on certain loans, like the situation with Marcus Rashford and Rasmus Højlund. I feel like I'm in a better place right now than where I was when I finished the end of last season. And that's what I'm gonna say on Manchester United's window. Has it made me feel a bit more confident? Yes. Do I feel we're still missing bits? Yes. In reality, could Manchester United have got it all done in one window? Definitely not. Did we try to? We give it a good go, and I'm still convinced United were going in for Carlos Baleba, and we was all in there. So yeah. Again, we was one player away, I feel, from really, really making a massive difference. But look, we said this before. Even if we'd have bought Carlos Baleba, would it have worked under Ruben Amorim's system? So we can talk about the transfer window. We can talk about the personnel and the quality of players, how many players we actually bought. But ultimately, this is all going to come down to Ruben. Like, we just bought a striker for 73 million that he's refusing to play in the Premier League. So that we've got to put into perspective as well here. We could have bought these players and there was no guarantee that Ruben would have played them going off it. So, yeah, that's what we also have to bear in mind and look at, I think. And I think a lot of the fan base will actually start to judge Ruben Amorim properly now, I think, in this season. And this is his time now, because even if you bought Baleba, Ruben still would have had to deal with his actual system and what was going on. There was no guarantee that Baleba would have turned Man United around. Yes, he's better than what we've got at that position, but still, the system is going to have to be judged this season by everybody, and I think it will be. Let's just check on everything to make sure that there is no last gasp deals. We are now into the depths, well and truly into the last hour right now. And Manchester United, well, we're wrapping things up with just Senny Lamens and confirmation of certain exits. That is all we have got on deadline day. It seems as though Manchester United have finished their transfer business in relation to incomings. What would you rate Manchester United's window? Lots of journalists saying that as well. A factor in Manchester United choosing Lamens over Martinez was Sancho's reluctance to make a permanent move to Villa. Martinez's wages meant United have to get a transfer fee for Jadon Sancho, but he preferred a loan, no loan fee, but Villa pay 80% of wages and up to 100% in bonuses hit. Like we said before, that's the add-on as well for Manchester United. Manchester United acknowledge they can't address all squad needs in one transfer window, with midfield likely to be the focus in January or next summer. That from Chris Wheeler as well. He also touches on the Conor Gallagher situation and what happened there. Manchester United did inquire about a loan for Conor Gallagher, but Atletico Madrid only willing to sell in the end. United accept they can't do everything in one window, and midfielder is likely to be the priority next summer. That was obviously off the back of the previous comment that I said there as well. So, yeah, there was an inquiry from Manchester United to Atletico Madrid for Conor Gallagher. That would have been a decent stopgap. That would have been a good loan for Manchester United, but Atletico wouldn't sell him. Look, he's been there 2 years. Is it 2 years, I think? Pretty certain it's 2 seasons now, Conor Gallagher. Why would they if he's a mainstay in their team? Never fully thought that, and that was a definite. So, yeah, I'm looking at that and going, yeah, I didn't really believe that Conor Gallagher would come to Manchester United. Right, okay, we are now moving forward, and let's just check out and just for other news, make sure. Yes. Right, so in terms of everything that was completed on deadline day, just a little bit of a roundup what we've got, so you can see on your screen anyway going through. Sen Lamens from Royal Antwerp, 18.2 million, 3.5 million in add-ons. So just over 20 million quid if we do get the add-ons. Jadon Sancho to Aston Villa, loan that was sealed. Anthony to Real Betis, 21.7 million plus 50% sell-on clause. That was done this morning. Rasmus Højlund was also confirmed. Loan with obligation, 38 million quid for Manchester United with a loan fee on top. So, good business for all of them there in the end, in the circumstances, you would say, I feel, anyway, for all of them signings. But, look, still not pleasing everybody, and there will be plenty of people that are not happy with everything that has been done for Manchester United. Let's bring up a few more comments. Marcus says, if United don't sign a new goalkeeper and a new CDM like Adam Wharton, this club is a joke. Angelo Stella would also be a great signing for people that have seen him play. Cruz 2.0, opinion-based again. And obviously, Manchester United didn't rate him. Poor midfield. Poor window, no midfield. Not really, not that poor. Sadiq says, we were thrashed by Grimsby. In the first half, we were thrashed by Grimsby. Look, again, at least you now get to properly judge Ruben Amorim. I think that's what it is. I think he's got enough here to learn that his system will work at times and won't in other times. And I think it's a good opportunity for us all to look at Ruben Amorim now, I think. But look, again, I get it that not many people are fully on board with the transfer window. I think they wanted a bit more. But look, I think business that was done was good. We're now looking at ONANA potentially leaving the football club, which is also good. And time. You need more time. We can't do everything. If we didn't have the bomb squad to deal with this summer, and if we had this summer maybe in next summer's transfer window, then it would be a different place. I want to see no excuses because of this window. I'm not going to let up at all in this window. I think Ruben Amorim needs to deliver still. He more than needs to deliver. at Manchester United this summer window. So yeah, that pretty much, everybody, has wrapped things up for deadline day here on Forever United TV. We are going to continue our chat over on Football Talks next, everybody. So please do get involved over there, everyone. We're going to be jumping across to see out the last few knock-ins of deadline day. We have literally got 37 minutes to go. United are done, but other clubs are still in it. We're going to be over on Football Talks in just a moment's time. Thank you, everybody. It has been an absolute bonanza of a deadline day. All the support and comments throughout the day, the super chats, the new members, the new subscribers. We passed over 99,000 on deadline day as well, and are closing in on the 100k. We are literally hundreds now away from the 100k mark subscribers. Absolutely crazy old summer. I cannot thank you enough for all of your support. But that is it. That is everything that is going on right now with for FUTV on deadline day. Thank you, everybody, again. I will see you all on Football Talks in just a moment's time. Have a good evening along with me on... I'll have a good evening after Football Talks, I was supposed to say, then I got mixed up. Forgive me. I'm about 7 shows in today. It's been a long-ass shift. Thank you, everyone. Absolute legends. Get over to Football Talks now. Let's have a ball and let's finish off this window with a bang. I'll see you all over there in just a few moments' time. Cheers, everybody.